Hello, Provo City. I am Superintendent Dow from the Provo City School District. Today is Friday, May 17th, and I just want to highlight a few of the things that have been going on in our district this week. On Tuesday evening, we had our board meeting. Our business administrator, Devin Daly, went over our tentative budget for the 2024-2025 school year, talked about some different things and plans for how to support our employees' salaries. And so really did just kind of an overview, and then we can get into more specifics at our next board meeting. The approval of that budget and the public hearing will be taking place on June 11th. So if you would like to provide feedback for that, look for information about that, and I'll provide more information at our next video cast for that. But if you'd like to go back and look at our YouTube presentation of that, you can look at last Tuesday's board meeting, and she does an exceptional job. The Board of Education is also looking at a cell phone policy, a district-wide cell phone policy. Several school districts are starting to move in this direction. And so we really talked about the rationale for creating a district-wide policy, some of the concerns that have been brought to our attention about the use of cell phones in schools. And so we would really like to start gathering some public input about that and really share some of the research and information that we have received, and then just take some time to listen to all of that feedback before we formalize a policy. You will see on our website that we will be posting shortly just kind of our first draft of that policy, and you can actually see that on board docs, and then you can start to provide some feedback for that. I know there are many families that have really strong opinions about that, and we would love to hear about that. Also just want to give a shout out to many of the parents who have been talking to us about making sure that we have 20 minutes of seated lunch time. Please note that our intention is to put that as part of our wellness procedure in our school district. We are creating a requirement of all of our schools to submit a master schedule and to really incorporate some specifics regarding lunchtime and making sure that students have enough time to sit and eat lunch. And so we'll give you more details about that, but that is fully our intention at the beginning of the school year next year. So I didn't want you to think that your concerns are falling on deaf ears. I really appreciate everyone who's been a part of that conversation and has made us aware of some of the issues, not just at the elementary school, but even at the middle school level and high school level, and just really trying to ensure that even our staff need to make sure that we are guaranteeing them enough time for lunch and putting in place some procedures and protocols for that. So I just want you to know that when things are brought to our attention, as we see those as being district-wide issues, our Board of Education is very responsive to that, as well as our district leadership team. And so just appreciate the opportunity to have conversations in our community. It's a great thing to have the dialogue and to make sure that we are doing what we can to provide great experiences and environments for our students. At our Tuesday night board meeting, we also had employee recognition. We had several employees recognized, but I would like to highlight Sherry Payne, who is a kindergarten teacher at Wasatch Elementary. She was named our Teacher of the Year. Will go on and compete at the state level. If you want to see magic in a kindergarten class, you need to go into Sherry's class. It's pretty incredible. So just want to give a huge shout out to her. We also did recognition of our educators that are in highly impacted schools. When they reach certain growth measurements with their students at Spring Creek, Timpanogos, and Franklin Elementary, those teachers get a sizable bonus of $7,000 because we recognize the significant challenges that these educators have in working with our most at-risk populations. And so if you'd love to go in and watch that, it would be great. You'll find a lot of our, maybe some of your children's teachers receive those awards, and you could drop them a quick note and say thank you for all that they are doing. We also had great community meetings this week at Timpview and at Provo High School to talk about our facilities needs and to really also talk about how we finance these projects. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about how projects are financed. Bonds are like mortgages. It's very difficult to sometimes save up money. I know that tends to be what a lot of people will say. Well, why don't you save up before you build a building? Sometimes when you're dealing with inflation, and increased construction costs, you actually end up being more irresponsible with taxpayer dollars when you do that, because it ends up costing more money in the long run. And so we're really trying to balance all of those pieces. And we just appreciated the questions that we received, the desire for the public to understand what our current financial situation is. And we would love to have any opportunity that we can. If you felt like, well, that didn't give us enough time to get my questions answered, and I have more that I would like to have answered, please schedule a meeting with the business administrator, Devin Daly, and myself. We're happy to go through that with you to explain those. It's very complicated, taxes and how we fund schools and the different pieces of it get very complicated. I think even as people are looking at, say, a school guardian program, it sounds amazing to be able to create safer schools. But when we look at, okay, well, we have to figure out how to pay for that as a school district, and where do those funds come from when our legislature doesn't fund that specifically, then we have to sit down and figure out what other things are we going to cut to make sure that we are falling in line with legislative requirements. And so it gets really complex really fast. So I appreciate those of you that reach out with questions so that we can clear up that information and sit down and have a dialogue about it. And this is an ongoing dialogue. I don't want anybody thinking there is a bond going on our ballot here in 2024. That is not accurate. We are simply looking at the needs that we have and looking at some possibilities of how we fund that. The soonest we would be asking for any bond would be in the November of 2025 election. We need to do a lot of legwork to make sure that we have very definitive plans and really clear information about what that's going to pay for in that process, what that does to people's property taxes. Our goal is, because of other bonds falling off, that it should have no significant increase to people's property taxes, but we want to be really transparent about what that looks like. So we're trying to take our time, but also get out to the community and just have a conversation. So I hope you'll submit questions. We have a place online where you can submit those questions. And then if you'll put your email address in, we're happy to respond directly to you. We're happy to set up a meeting with you so that we can make sure that we're getting the right information out to everyone. Just appreciate everyone that was willing to take the time to be involved in that. I just want you to know I had a great meeting with Mayor Kaufusi. I really appreciate her efforts to really create just dialogue and cooperation between Provo City School District and the city. And so we'll talk more about that as the school year starts, of just some things that we're doing to really coordinate our efforts more effectively. Just always want to thank our schools for all of the things that they do to create great experiences for our students. I've been out to several schools this week, and just to see the fantastic education that is taking place, even within the last 2 weeks of school, it's pretty phenomenal. So we're excited about all of the work that is happening across our district. Next week, we have a very busy week. Timpview High School's graduation is on Monday at 6:00 p.m. at UVU. On Tuesday evening at 7:00 p.m., we have our adult ed graduation at Independence High School. On Wednesday, Provo High's graduation is at 6:00 p.m. at UVU. On Thursday, we have our East Bay Post High graduation that will be taking place at 9 a.m. This is for our students that are graduating, that have disabilities, that are graduating out of that program for 18 to 22-year-olds. And then we have Independence High's graduation on Thursday evening, also at 7:00 p.m. at Independence High School. Our last day of school is Friday, May 24th. So here we are. We have 1 week left of school. The year is winding down. I encourage you to listen to this week's podcast. I went and interviewed, just kind of spontaneously, some of our Timpview seniors. And then next week's podcast will focus on Independence High seniors as well as Provo High seniors. I just want to thank you for being engaged in our education system. It is something we are very passionate about here in Provo City School District, and we wish you all a fantastic weekend. Thank you.